Alright, sorry about that. I had to reset the stream. This is part 3 of DLC playthrough. The reason why I had to reset the stream is that I'm streaming for the first time in 1440p, and I had to change some latency things for YouTube to be able to afford streaming in 1440p. I'm hoping that the stream looks good. It should. So let's get going. I've beaten the golden hippo in the last playthrough, in the last streaming part. So now I'm just researching this whole area, seeing what is there to it. I don't know what would be the next ideal location to go to. That's always a thing where you really don't know what to do. It says that we should be going here, but honestly I don't know what they are trying to tell me by pushing me over here. I know this location is locked. Maybe it's been unlocked by now. So maybe I should be making my way to over here. Maybe that's the ideal progression path. But we're gonna stick to this part, maybe research, investigate this castle, see what happens there. I'm gonna switch to hook claws because I really like them. Or claws, or whatever the name is. And I try to play like that. Oh, fuck. There goes my 100,000 souls. Good stuff. Good start. I switched to hook claws. I have a different setup for dual daggers. And I pressed the wrong button, to be honest. I do love playing with dual daggers, but considering the new stuff that we have to play with, there's no reason for me to do just that. I want to play with new weapons, see how that all works. Ooh, okay. There was a safety in place there, thankfully. Hey, Indrasil. Can't see shit. Alright. Gotta get used to the claws. You stream addicted bastard. I still want to find those martial art weapons. I want to play like that. I don't know where we can find it, but they said that we need to go east in order to find some kind of a martial artist. That was the note. So I'm gonna get there eventually, but that's gonna be my primary playstyle. I haven't seen how it looks, and I want to see how it looks. I want to experience everything by myself without spoiling. That's how I like to play these games, these From Software games. come on, are you fucking... No, mate, I did not try Baldur's Gate 3 mode, where it turns the game into a roguelike. I don't play co-op, so no, mate, I did not. Turns it into a roguelike. In what way? Can you explain that a little bit? You mean you die, you lose progress, or what? I'm not that much into roguelikes, to be honest, so I'm gonna need a little bit more information to see if it would be even worth playing something like that. Supposedly it randomizes the game's monsters battle content. It has about 100 hours of content per playthrough. It's fine, mate, you don't have to. I appreciate the effort. I appreciate the effort of you explaining this. That's fine. That's all I need to know, really, for now. You mean 100 hours of content per playthrough? But you mean the same content that was already in the game, right? Let's see if we have something ranged that we can throw. Okay. Definitely interesting thing to check out. Why not? If I ever get the time to do it, why not? I generally don't like getting back to games, same like with DLCs, but don't have to do puzzles. I mean, I don't have the problem with that, but in a roguelike system, I guess puzzles are not as welcomed. Fucking hell. Black Knight armor. Doesn't that inspire something cool when you read Black Knight? I don't know why. I think that I'm a fan of Black Knights or Dread Knights or anything like that ever since Heroes of Might and Magic 3 and the Necropolis Dread Knights. Oh, that was not smart. I don't know if if I've played through this part. I know I've tried playing through this whole section, but I don't know how far I got. I know this bastard is a proper fucking annoyance. I think I went through this section. Monty Python Black Knight 2. That's the best one. God damn, that was a funny sketch. Let me see. I know I went somewhere in one direction and I've tried to play a little bit just to record for the video today that I did. So, but I can't recall. Where was that? I'm guessing it's the other way because I don't see a progression path over here, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should jump down, but I'm not going to. So just continue. I don't recall which one is which. I mean, I love the one with the Jesus and everything. With Brian. Brian? I mean, I love every single one of them, but just I remember some of them better than the other ones. Oh, piss off. Ah, Life of Brian, that's the name of it. Yeah, right. Life of Brian. Bigus Dicus. That's probably one of the best sketches of all time. Watched a lot of reactions for Bigus Dicus on YouTube. Strike him hard, Centurion. Incontinentia buttocks. They are brilliant. Aha, this is where I've lost the last time around. There are 2 knights, so it's not the easiest thing to do. Yep, this is where I've stopped the progression. Let me see, I haven't checked these things. Greatly boosts the attack power of skills, greater is the attack power with successive attacks. Yeah, this is typical stuff. Good setup. Am I playing Metal Gear Solid or? Yeah, we gotta be careful with the progression part. Can't be too naive thinking that I'll take on 2 of these bastards. Definitely not. I mean, I could, but I would most likely lose. This guy in particular is a problem. Oh shit, I thought I could jump over it. Ah, damn it. That guy hit me with a fucking arrow. Tried to get back into the door, but they were faster. I still think that there's a path over... I mean, there is definitely a path over here, but how to get there? I'm guessing maybe through this location over here. Maybe that should be the next part to check. But I really want to get through this castle. This castle seems so interesting to explore. Oh, this must be some kind of a nasty boss fight over here. Let's skip a couple of these bastards. I don't need to defeat every single one of them every time. Ah! Oh crap. Now I got 15 on them. Yeah. Now I die. Meanwhile, I came back to Elden Ring just now and the boss I left off at is Loretta. Loretta? Which one is that? I'm not really good with names and bosses, mate, to be honest. My memory doesn't remember names very well. So If you can be a little bit more specific, who Loretta is that a knight that is similar to Relena? Let me Google. I'll make sure to know what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she is similar to Relena a bit. So I guess we're gonna have to do this the right way. I actually like going through enemies if I fuck up. It's just that since this cheap difficulty design, it's not as enjoyable going through it anymore. But smithing stones do drop a lot more frequently. I swear, it's just Ashes of War made the game a little bit more anime. And I'm not too happy about that. Yeah, I don't need to defeat them. Why am I going here? It's fine, let's just move. Pillars of Eternity to Deathfire. I guess couple of 100 hours, something like that, mate. Not sure. Oh shit! Come on, man. Where did you come from? Seems like claws have some kind of a mechanic, very interesting one, that when you're doing the combos you seem to duck at times, and that makes enemies, that makes for the enemies to hit you a little bit harder, so there's a chance they will miss. I mean, you can't really rely on it, but it seems like there is some kind of a duck mechanic to it. Alright, now let's see where this bastard is. Oh wait, I can do this. Let's help myself. Why the hell not? Ah, shit. Okay. The fucking veil bullshit has completely went bananas. Doesn't do anything. Alright, a little bit of progression, nice. Oh, so wait. Mimic Veil, it was just present over here. Oh, damn. Okay, we're gonna have to do it without it. I'm used to Convergence mode where you can use summons whenever you want, but it works a lot different. I love that far, by the way, mate. One of my favorite CRPGs. I didn't see the second gameplay showcase, but no, I can answer that immediately. I don't get excited. I really don't get excited when checking out games, when checking out trailers and so on. It just, I don't have it in me anymore, mate. Until I see something, until I played the game. When I played the game, then I give it a chance to make me excited, you know, to make me want to play it even further. But I don't have that innocence anymore, as you would say, that childish innocence where you can get excited from trailers. I wish I had that. But I don't. Can't fall down. Yeah, fall. No, nothing. There's a block. I don't see a fence. Right, there we go. Yep, definitely. Finally, he fell down. Definitely right. It's a system within the game. Systems, writing, characters, a lot of other things. Bosses maybe in previous From Software games. That's what captivated me. I loved gameplay. I mean, I like gameplay in Elden Ring and the DLC too. Don't get me wrong. Gameplay was always improving. Although these Ashes of War, I don't know how I feel about them, honestly. I don't think they have improved the gameplay enough. It's just an addition to already existing system that hasn't been improved that much ever since Dark Souls 3. But then again, I love it in Dark Souls 3. So I don't think that the system needs to be improved. It just needs to be polished. Because same like Neo, for example. Neo was always adding things. You didn't have to add things. You just had to polish, balance it all out a little bit better, and it would be fantastic. You don't need to add things just for the sake of saying there's something new. No, if you have a fantastic thing going on, then you work on difficulty design, you work on balancing, you work on more engaging gameplay, more fair gameplay, more interesting gameplay, more exciting gameplay, something like that. You work on those things. You don't need to add systems in place. Like Ashes of War, for me, I don't know. I mean, they improved the melee builds definitely, and melee playstyle, but which I always play, but I don't know. I'm not too sold on them. They're not a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. They're not a bad thing, but I don't consider them a particularly good thing too. So it's all about making progression with your subsequent games, and how do you do. That's why I'm impressed. I was quite impressed with Elden Ring and the open world design, except for the reused content, which I never thought it was such an issue. But then again, people are right, because if you take away that reused content from the world, it wouldn't affect the game in a negative way. So it's just an additional thing added, so that people can play more, which was completely unnecessary considering how big the world is in itself. And I lost my train of thought. Doesn't matter. I adore what Elden Ring did with the open world, and I think that DLC improves it even further. From what I've seen so far, fantastic. Locations are fantastic. Progression in the oh no, not those little bastards. And the progression within the locations is done really, really well. And I love how they've done it. It's truly an upgrade. It's truly an upgrade of the open world of the Elden Ring. And kudos to them for managing to create that. But then they they didn't improve one of the... As I said in the video, I mean, I will just repeat myself. Behavioral mechanics of bosses are very weak. And there's not much thought behind it. People think that when I made this video that I have issues defeating bosses. I don't. I just gave you Black Gale Knight guide on how to defeat it easily without spells and with just melee claws, without doing anything in particular. by understanding hitboxes, positioning, movement, when to attack, when to defend. People don't understand that. Some, of course, some, not everyone. That think that it's too hard, or it's not too hard. It's the way difficulty is done. That's what matters. Anyone can make a game hard. That's the easiest thing to do. Try playing Mickey Mouse games from Super Nintendo. The Steamboat Wheeler, whatever the name is, I don't know. Maybe it's not the Steamboat Wheeler, maybe something else. Well, what is that? But you're gonna have issues because the game has been made hard, insanely hard, harder than most of the modern games that I played. It's ridiculous, I know, it sounds fucking funny, but it's not been done in a good way. It's very skill based, but not in a good way. Okay, I don't know this guy's moveset, so we're gonna have to be careful. Okay, I don't know this too. Some kind of a spell. Yeah, thank you, but sideways. I've played Phoenix Point. I've done guides for it. I actually had a promotion for one of the best promotions that I had money-wise. They paid me $500, something like that, to promote the game because I'd created a lot of content for the original game. So they wanted me to promote the game releasing on consoles. Oh, for fuck's sake, this distance covering is... Cool boss though, aesthetically. Phenomenal looking boss. I like it a lot. The Slender Demon. No, you're not dropping anything. 7,000 souls. Oh, Fire Knight's Greatsword. So these guys are called Fire Knights. Were they present in the original Elden Ring? I don't recall. I know there were some kind of Fire Priests, but I don't recall Fire Knights. I like Phoenix Point. Phoenix Point does some better mechanics than the XCOM in my opinion. I think, but they don't have the fidelity of missions that the XCOM has. They just fail to captivate missions. Failed to create captivating missions as much as XCOM had it. So I wouldn't consider Phoenix Point a better game per se, but they do some things better. Combat, for example, it's much more better methodically and mechanically than XCOM. Much less RNG, and so there is RNG, a lot of it still, which it needs to be in the chaos of the moment. But I think they improved some stuff from the XCOM. I like it. But yeah, I was glad that they paid me to do the promotion. I wasn't paid to make a review. I don't do paid reviews. But promoting a game, sure, why not? Look what's new, look what's that. I don't give a fuck, why not? I need the money always, so I don't have a problem with that. But I will never take a review, paid review, meaning that I'm gonna lie that this game is fantastic, that it's incredible, that you should play. I will never do that in my life, I can promise you that. No matter how much in deep shit I am regarding financial status. Although I did play with 3 of the 5 or so DLCs, the way you can target certain body parts makes it feel so much more strategically sound. Yep. It does, mate. That's why I'm saying the mechanics, the combat mechanics of what's its name, Phoenix Point are better than XCOM. Is it a better game overall? I don't know, mate. I don't think they have the necessary mission design and the progression of the story and mechanics like XCOM does. But that's normal. Not every game can be better at everything than the other. You can have games that are simply good at some things, are not good at others. That's normal. It's almost every game. Even the games that I absolutely adore have huge weaknesses. That's what I don't like when I say something bad about the game, like I did for the DLC. Which is a fact that boss behavioral mechanics are not well designed, that they are quite weak. they lack the proper structure to accommodate the different playstyles, and they just don't offer much of a different dynamic in terms of a challenge that happens with each fight. Each fight plays out the same, basically. And that's just because they don't have good behavioral mechanics. So that doesn't mean I hate the game. I love Elden Ring. I've enjoyed playing Elden Ring for a long time, and but I am aware of its weaknesses. Just because I enjoy it doesn't mean that the game doesn't have weaknesses. I will always play a From Software game. Always. But as soon as you say something, people act like you are hating. I'm not hating. That's not how things work. It doesn't mean that everything is great. Doesn't mean that everything is bad. There's always something that can be found in games that is good. I even found good stuff in Elysium, Valkyrie Elysium, or whatever the name was of that game. I even said that there are some good stuff like feel of the weapon weight and animations. I don't know what I said. There were some good things about it, even in such a bad game. I couldn't be more fair towards games that I think, at least. I try to approach it in a fair way. Although this wasn't a review that I've done. This was just a ramblings of a madman video that I decided to do because I can't do a review based on the playthrough that I have it so far. Thanks, Mello. Appreciate it, mate. As I was explaining, I like the DLC. I think DLC does some really amazing things from what I've seen so far, and I haven't seen a lot of it. But the behavioral mechanics of bosses and the difficulty increase in terms of just increasing the damage output is never a good idea. I despise that in games. If you just want to turn on the slider and tell me that that's the way you will design your difficulty, what? From Software does that. I mean, what are we talking about here? Oh, that's a cool statue. This is a cool room. So yeah, some people can't handle it. Some people are telling me I'm playing the game wrong. How the hell can I play the game wrong? I'm beating the bosses. I don't have issues with them. I just try to play it in a more fair way, as I think it's fair. Playing 1 versus 1 and trying to read the bosses and play with them. But then you should play with the shield. You should do poise break. But then you are narrowing my playstyles. You are trying to diminish the value of playstyles. Every game, good designs accommodate every single playstyle. Now the playstyles have varied degrees of effectiveness, and they should have that for every boss. But if I have to change the whole build for a certain boss, that's not a good thing. That means the design of the boss is not good. In an action RPGs where people love to play from start to finish with one build and just keep improving that build. I have to change now the whole build to give myself more chance. What? That's bollocks, man. That's bollocks. I know that there's an option. It's a good thing that there is such an option. I love that there is such an option. But you can't tell me that you have to play in a certain way. Makes attacks more likely to work enemy stance in a mixed physics. Yeah, they play a lot of the same. 4 bosses so far. Doesn't matter the size of them. They all play the same. Yeah, Dark Souls bosses used to ramp up as the fight goes on. They do here too, though, because of the phases. They do here too, but you're right. They already start at the very high level. Where's that new thing? Temporary reduces equip load, restores HP when near death, converts damage received into HP in mixed physics, eliminates. There's some new. Purifies the Lord of Blood's curse. I guess that's against Mog or something, right? There was a new thing that gives me perfect block. I mean, I don't need it, but I don't know if I have it. But temporarily boost stamina, stamina recovery, strength, dexterity. Okay, these are all basic ones. Temporarily boosts all damage negation in a physic. You know what? I'll change that. I don't know how that one works. I forgot how that one works. Enhances spontaneous guard. I think this is it. Deflecting heart tear. I think that's it. But I don't have a shield, so I usually played with shields in every single From Software. Goddamn mosquitoes! People, you should see my legs, how they look. It's like a buffet for mosquitoes. I'm eaten alive here. I usually played with shields. I'm trying to avoid that playstyle. I love playing with shields. Don't get me wrong. Shield and sword or whatever else playstyle. I love that. I absolutely love that. I love playing like that. But I'm trying new stuff. Trying to see what the game has to offer in terms of different dynamics, different playstyles. Oh, what the fuck? Where did you come from? Mate, it's ridiculous, I swear, man. And I don't know why they love me so much, but fuck, they can fuck off. Yeah, I love in CRPG's shield playstyle. A dragon. Okay, there's a dragon. I love fighting dragons. I think dragons in Elden Ring are done alright. Honestly, one of the more fair bosses. It's just the problem that you're fighting them on a horseback. I mean, more fair as far as I remember. But look, people, don't. When I say something that happened in the past, I wouldn't rely on what I'm saying too much because my memory is not good. So bear that in mind. I do remember that I enjoyed the designs of these dragons, that they were quite cool. It was epic fighting them in an open field, running from their breath attack and so on. It was quite epic. I know that they mechanically weren't that amazing, but kinda liked it. I didn't understand the hate for the dragons in Elden Ring, to be honest. Europe is supposed to be facing new mosquito-based diseases. Oh, that's good. Loving hearing that, mate. I gotta change the great rune. I don't know if this rune does me anything. Does anything for the thing that I'm running over here. Shit, mate. Well, I'm not going outside anymore. We're just gonna stay in and stream Elden Ring forever. Well, not forever, because Croatia is playing Italy today, and if we don't win, we don't progress. So I have till 9 p.m. Central European time to stream, and then I'm gonna have to go get annoyed by my Croatian team having again one good half and one terrible half. Okay, that's not a bad finishing animation, actually. It's one of the rare ones that I've seen that I can agree with. When he drops them down and slices them with the claw. Not bad. The first one I've seen so far. Oh man, that's not... Ugh. Yeah, okay, so nothing changes. That's what you're trying to tell me, right, mate? Everything stays the same. Far coil, what is that? Use FP to conjure a tiny fire snake. Shadow Militia helmet, this thing looks cool. Let's equip that. That looks... I don't know if that's new or something, but... Oh, come on, that's cool. Finally a helmet that I agree with. Yeah, I'll change it up a little bit. We're still under we are still on light load, so we can keep this. it's I like it. I don't know why I like it, but I like it. I'm gonna have to get some ointment for these mosquito bites. Be right back, 5 seconds. You know how you use deodorants and perfumes, but when summer hits, it's a ride mostly on my skin. That must be healthy. Mages using shields in Baldur's Gate 3 is good. There is one that even up spells save difficulty. The double staff sorcerer seem to be the way. Well, it's good as long as the game accommodates different playstyles. I understand that every playstyle is gonna have a varied amount of effectiveness, and that's how it should be, but there's no such thing as a perfectly balanced game. There's no such thing. There are just degrees of balancing where it's better and worse. That's about it. Some things will always be OP. Now the question is, should they change these things in single player games? Because people don't seem to have a consensus on that. To be honest, I'm not okay with, even if it's a single player game, I'm not okay with them leaving OP builds in.
So,
What is this?
after Lord Moke's slaying, it appears his body has been obscured.
Is that guy from the Grace?
Surely you recall that I once served Lord Moke after failing him in every regard and losing sight of my vows. I'd do anything to make amends. In what
So that's one of the I'm gonna say now what I meant. That's one of the problems that I have with Elden Ring and the DLC. I love a good challenge. I adore it, but this game, but the way most of the things that are designed is that they are forcing me to use cheap designs to battle their own cheap designs. I don't like that. I want something to challenge me properly, not by reading my inputs or bullshit like that. That's not good difficulty design. They just counterplay from the AI that has insight into things that I can never have insight into. Like Mortal Kombat 1 and 2. That's not a good difficulty design, it never was. They literally just read player input. So then players needed to bait them into reacting so that they could use it to defeat the enemies in a cheap way. Sometimes I want to get back to Mortal Kombat 2 and play it a little bit through an emulator or something, or some shit like that. But it's that type of a difficulty design. Just why? I'm saying to myself, why? I don't need that. It's not gonna be fun. No matter how much I love old Mortal Kombat games. I think they changed too much in Pillars 1. They kind of made all classes feel the same. In what way, mate? In Pillars 1 or Pillars 2? Because in Pillars 2, I think classes were quite good and diverse. I love how Riot Games, remind me please, what did they do? It's a famous publisher, I know, but it's an MMORPG, something like that. Said that they know better due to 500 years of game experience or something along those lines. 500 years. What, from other life? Kind of crazy that most of the people balancing competitive games have extremely low levels of understanding for said games, like silver players. I don't know what silver players are, mate. I'm not familiar with those things. Look, experience definitely matters. Whoever says that experience doesn't matter is a lunatic, to be honest. Experience matters in everything in life, but experience isn't be all and all. So they evened out the classes too much and took all the broken OP stuff out mostly. Okay. Interesting. Now, here's the thing. If they have balanced it out, that's a good thing. I like that. But there also needs to be a diversity of playstyles. If that has been retained, then I'm all for it. And if you are saying that every class played the same a little bit, I don't know in what way, probably in damage output or something, right? But in the skills that they were using, then you're right. You're right in a way, because then, if, for example, if I understand what you're trying to say, is that if you've used a frost spell that damages, then the fire spell of the same type would also damage the same way. So it basically just if the enemy has resistance to frost or fire, right? Is that something that you were trying to explain? Damage just kind of becomes different colors. Okay. So yeah, we are in understanding. Yeah, that's a problem. I understand that there needs to be but then again, that's why status effects are there. Status effects create deeper strategic elements that are that can then offset the balancing issue, so that there's a different dynamic in place that can also be used to create different team combos. For example, poison plus fire creates explosion, like in Divinity Original Sin. And then you can play on different designs in place where builds would have different types of effectiveness and dynamic playstyles, despite their similar damage output. But I understand your point. You can't have it too balanced. Otherwise, it loses a little bit of that, you know what, oh, look what I did. Look what kind of a build I've created, when the damage is just so limiting, right? Limiting potential, no matter what you do. Oh shit, well, he broke through the barrier. Come on. Oh, Rogue Trader needs balancing, mate. From what I've remembered, it needs balancing. It's a bit, some are a bit too much. For example, that Heinrichs, whatever his name was, practically one skill that you overuse and the whole party becomes almost immortal. It's ridiculous. And how difficult it changes in acts is also not done that well. Then you suddenly find yourself in the middle of a difficulty spike, and you don't have many solutions, especially in Act 3. Act 3 is difficult, especially in the arena. One of those fights was pain in the ass, very, very difficult to get through. But there are things in place that can be put in place to manipulate the mechanics of skills in order to make them a little bit less effective. What the fuck is that thing? Oh, is that the jar thing without the jar? That's ugly as shit. I mean, From Software has some creepy designs. Look, he just farted and destroys 60% of my health. That's a disgusting fucking thing. But there is a general problem in RPGs, what you've said, mate, that you tend to get overpowered no matter what. In CRPGs specifically, and that's bad. For example, Larian games have that problem. In the end, I always install mods for Larian games to increase the difficulty so that I get challenged a little bit at least. But they are extremely difficult when you... at the start, usually Act 1, maybe Act 2 sometimes, and then maybe occasional fight in Act 3 and Act 4 or Act 5 if there is one. But other than that, they really struggle in maintaining the challenge. What the fuck is he doing? I don't get it. This is such a bad animation. It's... I don't even want to use it. That's how bad it is. Hey, Evgeny. You're Evgar, right? If I'm not mistaken. Something like that. I've read it. I can't recall, to be honest, what it is, mate. I think you made some constructive things. You said, I remember that your response was very constructive. And I can't recall what it was. If you want, copy paste it here and we can discuss it freely on the stream. If you want it, if you want to do that. I'm alright with that, mate. But I can't remember the exact words, what you've said. There's a lot of comments. I didn't respond to everything. If I was responding to you, then I love constructive comments like yours. But to respond on such a comment, it takes me about 20-30 minutes to write down a response, and I just don't have that time. No offense to you or anyone else. Some are just more easier to respond. But I do love the way you approach things in terms of how you wanted the discussion to go. It's very admirable. I like that. Ah, for fuck's sake, what's that? Yeah, sure. No worries, mate. Give it a go. As I play, I'll try to answer. Well, I have to read people's comments, and I love reading most of your comments because the thing about what I love about this community, is that we can really talk about things in a normal way. Most of the comments, even on the Elden Ring video that released today, are quite normal in a way, in a response, even if they agree or disagree, whatever. Oh, come on. I can't read this guy's moves anymore. Or, let me, 1 second, I'll read. It's very difficult for me to pay attention to what's happening on the screen with the comment. For fuck's sake. Oh, no. No, I'm dead. No, not yet. Okay. My bad. And there's some issue with the camera, I swear. Keeps getting that target lock off. Yeah, they can be mad, that's fine, mate. I was also mad at the game that they didn't improve the game, so. But I have to say, even despite the video, which was honestly just fair, I didn't point out anything that wasn't already pretty much obvious and known. It just didn't change for the better. It's not for the drama. It just, I hate when media lies to people. I fucking hate that. I'm more mad at the media than From Software. I'm just disappointed a little bit on From Software. Let me see. Guys, if you remember Bloodhound Fang, dude, I never played with that weapon. I think I've tried it only briefly, but I don't remember if it was OP or not. Some people were kind of... Okay, I don't know if they've said what the aim of the game is in terms of systems inside of it. Since competitive esports games bring in the retards that can't have a calm discussion. Yeah, of course, because their livelihood depends on it, you know, so I understand the emotional connection to the success that you're having or the failure that you're having. It's a more difficult thing to take in. All right, let's see. Evgeny did leave a good comment. The drama, the fragments that decreasing incoming damage are as optional as leveling up in the base game. Is the DLC's progression system? Yep. Previous DLCs were built for characters that reached soft caps and various stats and had no way to power up should the content be too hard for the player. These fragments are the way developers give players to progress even while already reached soft caps on meta level, which people don't want to progress. Okay. Same as with any fronts of the game, different builds struggle with different bosses while face rolling others. Okay, in this case there is less face roll since the player base wanted the challenging level of content is the kind where you need to travel in order to learn the fight and polish your execution, but the general trend is the same. Some builds can absolutely demolish some of the bosses while mostly disregarding their mechanics, especially if the build is well crafted and not a product of players fumbling around. Going into poison swap without bringing anything like consumables can be readily crafted is on the player. It's not the developer punishing the player for playing how they like. Hopefully this analogy is clear enough. I think I understand. In general, I disagree that subjective likeness like the game is absolutely unrelated to the game objectively being good, bad. Yeah, those are unrelated things. Subjective liking and disliking don't have anything to do with how the game is. At least in the context of the points raised in this video. If the game is liked by the target audience, then it's doing its intended job and thus it's good. See, I disagree with that. Usually target audience is can be majority of morons, to be honest. Basing the reception of a game on opinion of an average person. I mean, go to the mall, talk to average people about average stuff. The developers have vision in terms of difficulty character progression that they want to pursue with their product, and it's a valid of a choice as any. Some people will like it, some will not, but it doesn't make the game bad. It just makes it not optimized for a broad audience, but for a smaller, very wide range of players that enjoy this kind of gameplay. Niche products aren't better or worse than broad ones as long as they're supposed to be that. That I agree. I actually prefer more niche products than the mass appeal ones. For a more extreme example, your house isn't good or bad based on what passerby thinks about it, since it's not built for that passerby. But you're wrong about that they're basing the game around the core audience that played the game for years. Played which game? Elden Ring. What about the core audience that played the first Dark Souls games, Demon Souls? Because what you're saying about the bosses and things that it's their design, well, they can have their design, but their behavioral mechanics of every boss in this game so far is the same. They don't have any differences. Two of them build three elements. They have three elements. Two of them. Out of the four bosses that I played. So maybe there's even more bosses that have that same elemental thing. Now summons, I'm gonna cut to summons, but so, what is the core audience? From the Elden Ring, meaning the boss behavioral mechanics of bosses in Elden Ring are weak because they all play the same. That's the thing, you can counter them differently. That's your choice, whether you want to use summons, whether you want poise break, you want to use shield, you want to use whatever thing that you can use. That's on you. But the outcome of every fight depends on the behavioral mechanics, difficulty design. Actually, behavioral mechanics are in the difficulty design, build, and the player skill. Now, the player skill level actually went backwards in terms of what it's required to progress. The skill level is not nearly as high as it was before, because you can offset it with many different things like summons and OP builds. There's plenty of them around, right? But the problem is that the different playstyles that the game grants us is that those playstyles are going to have very degree of difficulties, which they should have in defeating certain bosses, as every boss counters something, which is how it should be. But due to their playstyles, due to their behavioral mechanics, they don't offer enough space for every playstyle to shine. You always need to have a little bit of space, a little bit of something for the boss to give you. And there are margins, there are rule sets for every game. Every game uses some kind of a system. From Software has stamina, mana, poise, something like that, right? It's their system. If we are working in the confines of that system, if the boss isn't working in the confines of that system, what is that telling you? That means that they can't create, they don't have an idea how to create a boss in the margins of that system. Then we are dealing with the system in place, but the boss isn't. And you're already dealing, that's the definition of cheap design, when the boss reads your inputs. So the problem of this game are not builds, even though there is complete lack of balancing. The problem of this game is not the difficulty. It's the design of the behavioral mechanics and just turning up the slider of everything around you to do a lot more damage. That's the problem of it. Builds are not an issue, they were never balanced. But if I'm forced to go to play certain builds, that doesn't bode well for the design of these bosses. Every design, good designs, accommodate every playstyle. And every playstyle can have very degree of difficulty of dealing with a certain boss. But it should not negate playstyles. Try going against Renala with hook claws these. Yeah, you can go with the poise break. That's your only option. That's your only option. You don't have any other options. That's my point. The playstyles that From Software games always had were extremely varied. They were not always accommodating for every playstyle, but the bosses before at least let you shine through their way more polished behavioral mechanics. If you create a boss that just goes around and flails continuously with 10 hit combos that you would lose stamina 15 times already, especially with large swords and so on, and then continue again another. Mate, every design of every boss is the same. They cover distance way too much, except, okay, not really. Gale Knight is probably the worst example because he cheats in every conceivable way. Input reading, turn rate, recovery, it's stupid. Especially when he wields the two-handed. Exactly, beat her with a great shield. And bleed. Bleed has always been one of the most OP things to do in Elden Ring, right? It was from the start. But if you can't accommodate different playstyles, many different playstyles to a certain degree, you can accommodate every OP playstyle. But if you don't accommodate different builds in a different way, because to me Elden Ring is not a skill-based game. It's not. It's more of a build-based game. Unlike previous Souls games where actually the build mattered a lot, but it didn't matter to that degree. And then how they've decided to give you space to operate is by you using summons. Then when you're using summons, then you have an option to do your thing. Then you have a breather, right? Then you have a little bit of a breather. And then you can operate when the boss is focused on summons for those couple of hits. That's what gives you time that was previously already present in every From Software game before, which was done through sheer behavioral mechanics that were better designed and that have more room to operate on a different level. That's the problem. They decided to make these bosses more like some anime bullshit. And your way to deal with it, to give yourself space to work, is either poise break or use summons. Something that's gonna give you a little bit of time to operate. If you go in exchange, any sort of exchange with the boss, unless you're gonna poise break them in 2 hits, you're losing that outcome. Always. And that's a problem. That doesn't give us enough variety. That means the design in place, behavioral mechanics are not good enough because they all operate on the same level of aggression. And now when you add on top of that aggression insane amount of damage output, what's the point of the fragments? Can someone explain to me? What's the point of these fragments? I still am on the fence about it. Yes, that's a DLC progression, but what about then progression that you made in the original game? Exactly, and I've gave you an exact for Gale Knight exact recipe to beat him easily with claws by simply using the frame knowledge and frame reading, and when can you actually attack and when can you not. But if you go and actually fight him properly, you're gonna lose every time, because you can't, unless you use perfect guard and things like that. But that's also, I'm gonna die now by the way, but that's also a very limiting factor. Yeah, Hades. I get stuck, I can't recover fast enough. So that's the problem. Gale Knight, I defeated him easily. I gave you, there's a guide where I showcase how I defeated him. Soft caps are good. I agree with soft caps. Soft caps are nice. You need to limit builds eventually. But limiting them through the fragments that slow down your progression, that you actually slow down the build progression further because of what? Because you already completed the original game and you have a build in place. So what if your build is OP? That's not on them. That's not on them to limit you if you're level 350. That's your work that has been put into the original game. Maybe you want your DLC experience to be easier. Maybe you want it that way. Well, you have a 300 level build or whatever the maximum level is. Good, enjoy it that way. If you want it like that. If not, you can play the game again. Enjoy the DLC that way. Why not? You can speed through Elden Ring. You don't need to complete every single thing, right? So there are things in place. But then again, fragments can be a good idea. As I said, I'm on the fence. I'm not against it. But if our build progression is based around fragments and not actually building the build, because the fragments are going to have more influence on the build than any build that we can create, because it directly affects the damage received and the damage and the damage output that we have, then that's based on an item. Why? There are already soft caps in place, right? So I'm trying to, this is really literally me thinking out loud. I don't know what to think about fragment system. I'm just talking to myself out loud about the fragment system. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, to be honest. But what you said about soft caps, I agree, Evgeny. You are absolutely right there. I think that there needs to be some kind of a cap in any game, especially that has some sort of a skill-based thing, even though it's been reduced, but it's still there. It needs to be there. It needs to be there to actually allow skill to shine at times, if you have any. As I said, I never played these games with OP builds until Elden Ring came. I never, because I didn't wanna reduce the challenge to being cheap and too easy, because I like the challenge. I loved the challenge in every From Software game so far. I absolutely loved it because it felt fair. It really felt fair. Every boss it felt fair. Even the Smelter Demon that I had insane rage that I don't have that video anymore. I was raging like a motherfucker on that thing. But I still felt more fair than fighting something like Malekith. I mean, creating a boss that can do insane amount of damage, that's the easiest thing in the world. What's not easy is having behavioral mechanics that can counter the player in a different way. And that doesn't need to input read, but it has their own strategy, it has their own movesets, and they try to, with their AI, to incorporate that moveset by reading the situation and learning from your moves. Now that's something that can create different and more interesting experience, more interesting boss fights. But if you're just there flailing continuously, combo after combo after combo, with 10 hit, Renala has a 10 hit combo. Or whatever, I don't know how long it does. And that Lion also. So kind of a 6 hit combo, are you fucking kidding me? Not to mention the distances that they cover. That fucking golden hippo. Goes into the corner, completely vulnerable, and from that vulnerability he springs back to himself in a millisecond and then covers again the full distance of the map in a millisecond. I mean, what are we talking about here? That's cheap design. That's not brilliant design. It doesn't offer me much variety of what I can do in those circumstances. But you are right that there are counter methods to it. And one of the counter methods to it is to survive, use those fragments. Another method is to use the poise break system. It's good that we have those options. I love when we have options. I always love options in games, but it doesn't change the fact that mechanically bosses are weaker, not better than prior bosses. And that's what bothers me. I don't have a problem with the difficulty. These bosses are difficult in a cheap way because of the behavioral mechanics and the damage they have done. But that's not a good design. That's very cheap design to increase the difficulty level of it all. And then you have these fragments that if you want to counter the increase in the damage of the bosses by having to be collected on the map multiple times in order for your character to get the increase. I don't know where these fragments are. I don't know. I don't want to spoil the game by looking up where these fragments are. Should I explore? I will explore. I like exploring. But what's the point of that fragment? And so you're telling me that they couldn't just leave the damage and even reduce it a little bit and just remove the fragments from the game? What would then be? It would lead to the same thing. If fragments negate the increase in the damage of the bosses and the enemies, then you just don't do the increased damage. You don't do the increased damage and remove the fragments. There, sorted. See, it's not if you want, it's mandatory unless you want to make it hard for yourself. Yeah, see, that's what I have a problem with. In a game like this that offers wide variety of things, of playstyles, there's something mandatory. I don't want to have anything. I never had any mandatory thing in any From Software game ever that I played. The way I played it, I always used melee styles without any magic if I could, unless... except for the Elden Ring. See, but I could play like that. I mean, I can play that still here. I could go against the bosses and learn their combos and eventually get in between those combos and strike them once or twice, but that's too long and it's not really rewarding because the way to go about it is for me to not be hit for about 20 minutes of dodging and while they can still kill me with 3 shots. You know, that's not very rewarding. That's just annoying. But if the bosses can challenge me in an intelligence type way, where oh shit he's doing that, then I might try to differentiate my moveset. For example, if you have a very agile build where you can move a lot, okay, that boss is gonna use more distance attacks, or maybe try to bait you if you have a short weapon, because well you can't really hit anyone from afar and things like that. That would be a great design in my opinion of bosses, so they would differentiate their playstyles depending on your build that you're running. They have a little bit of that, don't get me wrong, they have a little bit of that, but that pure aggression complemented with insane amount of damage is just that's not very good behavioral mechanics. It's very simple to create. There's nothing in between, you know. Before there were enemies, I'm sure you guys all remember that you played From Software games. Enemies there were before prior bosses, they always had some kind of a one-shot kill mechanic or something that is gonna get you down 90%, 80% of health no matter how leveled you are. And the way to... And they would do that attack maybe twice a fight. They were very easy to avoid, but they would then incorporate those attacks somewhere in between the combos and in between different moveset patterns. The point of those moves were to break the dynamic, so that they fuck your timing up, and even though it's easy to avoid, they're completely different long charging attack that also has a very small window where you can avoid it if it's a tracking attack. So they were mixing these things up, but now if every attack does 50, 60, 70% damage, what's the point then? Look at this. That's just... I mean, he farts around and he kills me, he kills 60% of my health. Yeah, leveling up is also mandatory. You're right about leveling up. Yeah, but that's the thing with every RPG. So I see your points, mate. I read your points. You have some good points. I'm not sorry I didn't touch some of the other things, but that's the core thing that I wanted to do. Wanted to tell people from the video. You know, it's not that I hate the Elden Ring. I love the DLC. I think it's done some fantastic things so far, but they didn't improve it. Yeah. Aha, može, ajde. Yeah, yeah. Shit. I forgot where I was going. I was talking so much. No. Yeah, the video was emotional mainly because of the media outlets. From Software just disappointed me a little bit, but that disappointment was there from the Elden Ring, so that's nothing new. It wasn't an emotionally made video because I waited 3 days to make the video. I got pissed off on Friday already. So I waited specifically to incorporate my mind. I didn't play on Sunday at all to see if I'm making a mistake, to see what my thoughts are about the DLC and what I've experienced so far. Maybe I'm wrong. I need to give myself some time to understand what I'm trying to process in my head, and I did that. It might come off as emotional, but those emotions are based on a factual thing that is on the screen. If you have an emotion that is based on a fact, then it's a valid emotion to have. But emotion, like being offended because of someone that says something that doesn't even relate to you, that's a wrong emotion to have because it's based on nothing. It's based on you imagining things. I mean, can we have a consensus here that bosses are a step back in Elden Ring? I don't think there's much debate there. Maybe aesthetically they are not. Aesthetically, they look fucking cool. I love how they look aesthetically. But behavioral mechanics are not as good. They all play pretty much the same. Not all. They're different. It depends on the size. For example, the giant was difficult as fuck. But it played differently. I actually liked the fight a lot. It was the best one, but it was a different experience. And I adored the fact that no matter how maybe not mechanically great the fight was, it was a different experience. Finally, something that played a little bit different, you know? It wasn't just pure fucking aggression. That's why I liked those mini bosses that were, what's the name? Knives, something knives. Knives in the dark, some bullshit, I don't know what the name. They really played a little bit different. That dagger based one where he could avoid and so on, doing quick steps and around, it was completely different experience than me battling other stuff. Because most of these enemies, they don't even dodge anymore. They don't give a shit about dodging. Their whole point is to go into a combo and then continue with another combo. They don't even try to dodge your attacks anymore because you know that they are gonna win the poise battle, right? While you still have to deal with your animations. You don't have an option to skip your animations. There's no attack cancel. So, as it shouldn't be, because this is more of a 1v1, 1v2 game than 1v5, 1v6, 1v7. In those games, attack cancel is much more important than in games where you are dealing with 1v1 and 1v2. But I genuinely like Elden Ring and actually loved playing it, so but it doesn't change some of the things. See, they are a step up. They can't be a step up, mate, with those behavioral mechanics. Mate, Sekiro isn't a Souls game. Sekiro incorporates a completely different combat system. That's not even close to anything else that From Software has done. It's completely different system that works on a completely different basis. And even bosses there did much less damage than they do in Elden Ring. Especially in the DLC. It's fine if you want to say that they are extension of the Sekiro bosses, but the system in place is not the extension of the Sekiro system because it's still a Dark Souls system. They've just added Ashes of War and changed a couple of things. So if you do a system from a game like Sekiro that has very tight balancing and very tight combat design, probably one of the best in terms of bosses and how they operate, it's just incredible. But it's a very good example of a properly balanced game and a good difficulty design. But it's a purely skill-based game. It's much more difficult to balance games that have skill and build-based, and where the outcome depends on the difficulty design, build, and the skill level, which Souls games are. So that's the huge difference. And I don't say it's not easy to create, but to just increase the damage and increase the aggression of the bosses to maximum is not a solution that fits this system very well. Unless, that's why I'm telling you, we don't know how the development went, but I'm calling this that they have probably created these bosses and say, you know what, this is anime cool shit that's happening on the screen. They're just spamming things that are extremely OP and what that. But instead of making that better, we're just gonna give you summons. So the summons you can summon, and they will take some of the aggro from the boss, so that you can operate a little bit. And then no one will be able to complain because they have the solutions. No one is complaining about bosses being too hard because we have cheap designs in place to counter them. Cheapness with cheapness. But honestly, I never played their games like that before because there was no need. If you want to learn a boss here in Elden Ring in a way that I learned the bosses in Dark Souls, it's gonna take me much longer, and it's gonna be a very boring experience. Because I'm gonna die so many times based on a fact that they will just catch me with something. Some frame is not gonna do well like I thought it could, and one of those 10 dodges in a row I'm gonna miss because I'm human, you know. And if you're creating difficulty based on punishing one mistake, then what's the point? That's why I can't stand how Neo works in New Game Plus 15 or whatever, because everything kills you in 2 shots. And the whole system goes into shit. The whole phenomenal combat design, combat system goes into the bin. Because it doesn't matter anymore. The only thing that matters is the build. If your build can take that couple of hits in order for you to dish out those couple of hits and go into a full-blown aggression mode where you'll do so much damage with one combo to the boss that boss is gonna melt. So these are the little things that make for good and bad designs. I'm not saying Neo has probably the best combat system ever. One of the best ever. But the other parts of the game drag it down. I love playstyles that Elden Ring provides, but the boss design drags it down. So you see the issue. And I don't know still about fragments. I'm saying I have to play the game a lot more to have an opinion. I didn't say that fragments were bad, but fragments are not good if the designs in place like they are with the boss behavioral mechanics are like this. Then it's not a terribly good thing to have with such an increased damage output. Because then you could just remove the complete damage increase and remove the fragments and you would be at the same place, basically. And people could play from whatever level they want. But maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it gives more difficulty. I don't know. As I said, I'm still on the fence about it. I have to play a lot more to have an opinion on it. But it's definitely a mandatory thing, as Evgeny has said, and I don't like that. I don't like that there is a mandatory thing in a game like this that we have to do in order to be able, because it limits also the open world freedom and my choice of shit, not again, and my choice of when I want to go against the boss and when not. Because if I want to do it and I want to challenge my skill level, then I'm gonna get punished significantly, just because of the factors, just because of the values that are instilled into the boss. And that doesn't give me much incentive to work on it. I don't know what the fuck is this guy doing, but it's creating problems for me. It's a new enemy. So kind of Lord of Ground Blood. I don't know what that is, but it's very interesting. Okay. I don't know how to go about defeating it, to be honest. So I'm just gonna spam this. Their aggression and movesets are just extension of Sekiro. Okay, fair point. Fair point. Fair point. That could be. You could be absolutely right about that, mate. I haven't played Sekiro in a long time, but I do recall that I was admiring how the hell did From Software do something like that, because it's not their style, what they've done. It's truly a unique game, is it not? It's not a perfect game, don't get me wrong. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10. Neo Fist, Claws plus Switchblade were one of the absolute best combat I've ever seen. Yeah, I agree that, mate. I agree about that, mate. I completely agree. It's truly on another level. But anyway, see, I love that we can have these discussions, people. We don't have to agree. It's fine. That's not why I'm not trying to brainwash anything into thinking like I'm thinking. No, I always like when someone challenges, brings their own discussion, brings their own points of view. That's how we start to open our minds and create a better consensus if we can reach it. If we cannot, doesn't matter. We can still have normal conversations. We can still hang out in chat. We can still be human towards one another, right? That's why I'm trying to explain people that emotions are not a good thing to have if they come out on themselves from themselves based on the ego and not on the things, on the facts, or at least some sort of facts or something that can be established first. Then you can create emotion based upon that, and then that it's a more understandable emotion. But if you just create emotion based of immediately being insulted by everything that is said, even though it has nothing to do with you, it's not good. That can never lead to a good discussion. I like the fact that you guys mentioned this. I like the fact that Evgeny did it was a constructive comment. I've read it. I couldn't remember a lot of it now because it's my memory, and I've read a lot of comments today. That's not a knock on his comment. But look at him here now. We are here. We have disagreed. We have our own thoughts about, and we are now communicating normally through the chat. It's fine. I'm not gonna hate anyone based on their opinion. I don't give a shit. You can have the worst opinions in the world, and you may be the best human being around because you help people. You are nice. You're this. You're that. But you can be an absolute, I don't know, moron with IQ of a fucking gnet. But you can. One thing is, I'm not sure even where I should be going at this point. I don't know if I'm at the right location, but I want to progress, see where this gets me. If we can get to another boss, I would definitely love to see another boss. See how they work and all that. I can change styles, that's not a problem for me. Creating a build in Elden Ring is quite easy, it's not a problem. Yeah, that thing shotguns. But the level design is phenomenal in this DLC. It's truly phenomenal. And the open world design is even better, in my opinion. I didn't see any reused content so far in terms of, yeah, from Elden Ring, but of course, because this is an expansion, right? Of course, they're gonna reuse some of the content. It's normal. But it wouldn't be Elden Ring anymore, right? If they weren't using the same assets at times. And I lost my train of thought, but see, when you get older, 37. Jesus, I'm gonna be 37 in a month. Yeah, the animations are a little bit of a problem, mate. Yeah, the animations are a little bit of a problem, but I'm trying to create a combo strain that can do enough of it all and trigger the blood and also maybe do the stagger thing, right? So I'm trying to navigate through that. Everything can be done to a degree, but we'll see to what type of effectiveness level we can bring it out. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is a good example of a design. This guy is just spamming the same shit. And look how little time in between of that very powerful attack we have to do our thing. And if we don't break his poise, he's just gonna keep doing that while we're going to be stuck in an animation. The recovery times are too fast for a game of this magnitude and for a game of this combat system. It's just too fast. And I'm supposed to be the fast one with the beast claws, you know? Yep, he's gonna do that now. As I said, I'm not saying it's not doable. It is. But it's always that tight window that you have to do, that you have to navigate through. Otherwise... Yeah, they outdid themselves with this. Yeah, I agree, mate. Isn't it a repeat of Bloodborne, though? The Old Hunters DLC? I didn't play the Old Hunters DLC, mate, so I really don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I didn't play Dark Souls 3 DLCs. I didn't play... I'm not a fan of DLCs in general. Because I don't like getting back to games. That's not a knock on DLCs. No matter... it's not about the quality of the DLCs. It's about the fact that I don't like getting back to games once I'm done with them. But this is a different thing. This is a little bit different. I wanted to see what they can do. Because Elden Ring was a little bit different game than usual from them, and I wanted to see what they can come up with. And they can still surprise, goddammit. World is amazing. See? That's what I'm telling you. The window of... the mistake window is so damn narrow, it's infuriating at times. I'll try. Yeah, I'm trying to avoid great shields and any sort of shields because... oh, shucks, I forgot about that one. Because I played with them already. I want to use the claws, I want to use new weapons. By the way, the one spoiler I will allow. Where do we unlock martial arts? At which location we unlock martial arts? I really want to play with a martial... with that new martial art thingy. See, some people say the Dark Souls 3 DLC is the reason for bad boss, for weaker boss designs of the Elden Ring. That they went down that path. I don't know if that's true or not. I didn't play it, but I've had some people say that in the chat. That they were the aggressive ones, you know, the high damage output and all that we are seeing now. Jesus, these mosquito bites are gonna tear my goddamn leg off. Okay, let's try to run past a couple of them. I don't want to be fighting them all the freaking time. Ah, shit, I got stuck a little bit. Oh, I got the invitation. A short distance away and get the first martial arts weapon. So that should be somewhere around here, right? They said it's east, so I'm guessing somewhere around here. You know what? I'm gonna go for that. Let's try to progress a little bit now, and then I'm gonna go for that. I really want to see. I like the claws a lot, but you are right, Evgeny. They do stuck exactly there. Okay, good. But I do have that long stuck animation that is easily exploitable. Thankfully, the Ash of War does offer some stagger effects, so that's good. Okay, I believe you, mate. I believe you that Gale was fantastic. I didn't play, so I don't know. I don't know if we can even... Okay, simple projectile enemy. Ah, shit, I got stuck. Okay, I was lucky there. Oh, piss off, he countered me in the mid-air. Fucking hell. That's cool, though. I like that they can do that. It's not a bad thing, but that could be also down to input reading, although this time around it didn't feel like that. Soon as independent which way you go. Okay. Alright, now where did I die the last time around? Oh no, I'm not gonna defeat that guy anymore. I'm not gonna battle him. Fuck that guy. But claws have such a cool moveset. I like them a lot. They are very, very cool to use. Alright, where did I die last time? Ah, okay, maybe here. Let's heal up just in case. Yeah, that shotgun thing, I don't know if that goes 360 or... Okay. Ah, shit, this one didn't break. Alright, finally some progression. Now, where were we? I feel like it's easier for me with the daggers, to be honest. Dual daggers, and with one of them being Reduvia. I didn't change the stats for the claws. It's basic dexterity thing with some arcane in it. I do need to read on the soft caps. I don't remember what the soft caps were. It tells me in the UI. Does it? Okay, I did not know that. View explanations. Or maybe when I'm leveling. Oh, here we go. Grace. $50, 55. The caps for strength dexterity are 55, right? What is for endurance? I know that vigor is 60. Yeah, I don't see the soft cap thing here, mate. Hey, Audiobot. So oh yeah, there's definitely gonna be a boss fight here, but what is this? Why are there doors here? Maybe not. Maybe it's not a boss. Endurance 50, 60. Okay, thank you. Appreciate the info. All good, mate. No worries. It would be nice for them to put that information in, though. 50 for stamina, 60 for quip. What is quip? How goes the DLC journey? Slowly, mate. This is a tough one. I'm trying to play with the beast claws and trying to get through this castle. Getting my ass handed to me a little bit, but I'm doing alright. Doing alright. I don't know if we've missed something, so I'm just gonna run through, see what's going on over there. Maybe there's an item to pick up. No, it's the same. Okay, good. So we can just progress freely. Aha, equip load. Okay, okay. So basically nothing goes above 60, right? No point in getting anything above 60. Look at this. Look at the amount of details they do in every single bloody location. I love that. I absolutely adore that. It's so much fun uncovering new areas in From Software games. They are truly the masters of that. I loved that Dragon Eerie. Still one of my favorite spots ever. It was such a shock. Even though the Dark Souls 2 had that issue of disconnected world, especially through the scenery and the setting of each location, but the Dragon Eerie, when I went there, was fucking awesome. And that ancient dragon at the end, the size of him. Oh man. It got my pickle excited. Ah, for fuck's sake. How the hell are you missing everything, mate? Come on. This is not the missing party. There we go. Strength dexterity at 5580. And intelligence fate arcane at 5080. Ah, okay. Thank you. Appreciate the info, lads. Appreciate it. I like the comment on some video about the DLC. The only thing hard about this DLC is me. Nice. Good one. Oh, what the? Something is pissing on me. Fucking fire rain. What? What's going on? Goddamn bridges in From Software games. You know, there's some shit going on. What the hell is going on? What's doing that? Fuck that. It's always that with the bridges here. Yeah, what is that? Oh, it's that fucking chanter over there, the bastard. Ah, piss off. Can we use the horse? Good question, maybe. How are those claws working out? Yes, we can use the horse. Fucking thank you for the idea. Thank you for the idea, man. They are fun in terms of the design. They are really cool to use, but they are a little bit impractical when it comes to dealing with enemies that can recover quickly from getting hit. They are for those enemies. You are an easy target. Oh, this makes things so much easier. Oh, come on! Piston. We can use horse for Elden Beast. Yeah, I've heard that, yeah. 60, 10 arcane. What is 10 there? What is 60? Hey, Will. It's not the review, mate. It's just a first impression, just something to say. Ah, 68. Okay. But it's not a review. Review is going to come once I'm finished with the DLC. It's just that I don't want people to be. I just don't like overhyping things that shouldn't be overhyped. The DLC so far is good. Might be even great for what I'm playing, but it's not 10 out of 10. The greatest ever. Man, when I hear that, makes me sick. Honestly, makes me sick, because in a game that you are most of the time fighting. Right, that's what we're doing most of the time. Most of the time you have to deal with some of the cheap designs in place that weren't there before in previous From Software games. There were at times, but not continuously. And bosses were always the staple of From Software. I loved boss fights. I mean, I've said it all in the. I don't want to. We already discussed this. But when it comes to the world and everything else, besides the difficulty design and the behavioral mechanics that weren't fixed, I mean, it's the same thing, just a little bit more damage. It's fantastic otherwise, you know. Oh, come on, I don't know what these moves are. Not familiar with them. No, wrong button, forgive me. Oh shit, this thing is fucking me up animation-wise. Ah, finally. With how the industry is today, the DLC is 20 out of 10. Well, I can see that point, mate, but I don't know. It's more realistic to me to compare games of the same company with same style, because Dark Souls, this is essentially Dark Souls 4, is it not? It's Dark Souls with an open world, right? Well, with some improvements here and there in terms of added stuff to the combat system. Maybe not necessarily improvements, but with additions, right? So it's easier for me and more realistic to compare to other Souls games and to the previous games of From Software, you know, to see their progression or lack of progression or maybe even regression, depending on the thing that they're doing. For example, in world building, they have progressed. Having that level of quality progression in the quality world building in an open world, same as in the linear world, is truly incredible. That's not many companies can do that. Hey, that's why I don't have any expectations, mate. Hey, Sanesh, I never have expectations playing games. I just don't. I didn't have a single expectation regarding DLC. I didn't read a single word of what this DLC is before actually playing it myself. I don't like to spoil my own thoughts by allowing other content creators to influence my thoughts. I want always, oh, look at this. This is fantastic. I want my thoughts to create themselves without being a parrot and repeating what someone else is saying. That's why I don't watch other gaming creators, and because I have no interest. Yeah, in level design they have also progressed. I agree, absolutely there. Not many people would argue that point, I don't think. I honestly feel more excited exploring these areas than battling bosses, and that's not a good thing. It should be close, one and the other, because before in Dark Souls games and Demon Souls and so on, I always felt the same excitement or similar excitement when fighting bosses and exploring the stuff, seeing what the hell is around the next corner and what the reward is and so on, you know. They managed to keep that always active until the Elden Ring, and then when I started to figure out the first bosses and how they started to work, it was like something here is off. So something here isn't as interesting as it could be. Just the way the fights played out wasn't particularly interesting. And okay, that's their vision, that's their way they want to create their games. That's fine, but that's not the same level of quality that was in the Dark Souls series, in my opinion. What is this? Materials for crafting items. Because simply the behavioral mechanics of the bosses before were far more advanced than this. It wasn't as simple as this, you know. Now, what is this? Is this a shortcut or? What if your thoughts are formed while missing some context? What do you mean, mate? That's a good question. I'm just not sure how to interpret that, to be honest. Oh shit, my wire got in my gamepad. Oh, okay, I get what you mean, actually. I get what you mean. You mean that if I don't figure out the things, well, that is always a possibility. No, of course, that's always a possibility. I might not understand some games. For example, I don't understand Diablo-esque games. No matter how simple they are, I don't understand the appeal in them. I don't understand where's the quality in them. I think that even the best Diablo-esque type games are just decent games overall. Maybe Path of Exile, decent game. I've played it extensively. I just don't get it. I don't understand what the appeal of of those games are. But I can still try to give them a fair shake. And I don't give opinions based on just doing something once, meaning that I played one boss and they killed me once and I'm gonna rage. Nope, I don't do that, mate. I give the bosses, I try to analyze every boss that I'm fighting. And then I try to learn the mechanics and see what they do and be very patient with how I approach things. And then give myself a chance first to battle it solo, don't summon anything, don't... Which was a cool thing before, if you remember. Before there were limited amount of summons that you could do. Was it based on humanity? I can't recall what the system was, but it was based on something, but you could have a limited amount of summons. So I had to be very careful when I would use those gold summons to help me out. So I was learning bosses in and out to give myself best chance to progress. Then eventually on some of them, very few bosses, but Smelter Demon for one. I was afraid of summoning, so I was just pushing myself to try to learn that moveset as much as possible, and I did. But I needed that little bit of help from the summon. Or did I? I don't know if I beat it without it or with it. I know I've used summons a lot in that fight. So I could miss some context. You're absolutely right, mate. That's why I'm saying I can't judge yet the fragment system. I can't. I don't have a thought in my head that is making it either a positive or a negative. I don't know yet because I don't have enough experience with the game. That's why when I review games, I try to finish them first. And that's how you see a lot more things. That's why I don't do reviews based on, I don't know, 10 hours, 20 hours of game time. No. Give the game a fair shake. Play it through and see how it works. Try out different builds. The thing is, when you do guides next to all of it, then you go deeper into the game. Meaning then you try to do things in a different way. Repeat same things. And then you see even weaknesses or positives even easier, you know, because I do a lot of repetition in these games. Oh, for fuck's sake. What the... Oh, fuck. Oh, what? I can backstab him. What a silly backstab animation. It's so weak. So I don't have any hype or hate for games. I don't. I just don't. But I don't like when people go and when I say something against the game they like, I wouldn't say something based off of nothing, you know? I would always, that's why I didn't do a video over the weekend, because I know that I needed time to chill on it, to sit on it, to try to decipher things in my head to see maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm missing something. But I'm not. Everything was confirmed many times over. It's too early to do the review. By far too early. I can't, based on the things that I've did. I can't even remotely think that I could be doing a review of this game yet. It's just the first impression thing and just the thing that I want people to be careful about media today. This video is mostly, when I say anger, I'm not angry at From Software, I'm angry at the media outlets. I can't stand that shit, mate. I can't stand modern journalists. That's why I said, give the people that want more honesty and more realistic game reviews, give some channels in the comment section. I didn't say watch me, watch mine. No, give options to people to watch so they know where to watch, to try to open their mind to a little bit different way of thinking, to understanding that if you don't like one aspect of the game, if one aspect of the game is bad, it doesn't mean that the game is bad. It just depends how much that aspect affects the whole game. It's not the same for every game. I don't know if I've played a perfect game. The most perfect game I've ever played was probably Metal Gear Solid 1 and 3, because I don't know any weaknesses of that game. If I could tell you, it was a long time ago since I played them last time, but I don't know any weaknesses. Even the systems that are not great are alright or good. So, sorry Sanesh. Bro, they out calculus in Elden Ring. Okay, I got it. The pillow is doing the thing with your friends for co-op. And now if you do a game like this for co-op or for summons, then it needs to suffer somewhere, and it did. Because you don't have to make good designs in that case anymore. You can just put aggression and damage full out because you have ways to deal with it. But is it a good thing? I don't think that it is. It could be a good thing. It could be created far better than it is, and then it wouldn't matter if there are summons or not. But it seems like it doesn't accommodate for a lot of options. Elden Ring boss design. With developers stating what their thought process for mechanic was change your view potentially after already formed an opinion of blindly playing through the game. No, because I don't trust developers. Developers are gonna say whatever they want to excuse themselves. Expecting truth from the developers, you're not gonna get it. Metal Gear Solid 4 as well, mate. Yeah. That story, mate, I cried. I cried at the graveyard. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I've cried. For example, Evgeny, gonna give you a good example of what you just asked and why I think that way. It's not the only reason, but it's a good example. I watched Zealand. That's one of the rare gaming creators I watch. Zealand is one of the best. That's it, made everyone cry. He's one of the best content creators for Football Manager. I love Football Manager, but Football Manager is in regression for a long time now. Just because of the same things similar things to what I'm talking about from Software. In some of the designs, right? So Zealand managed to get a hold of the engine director, the guy that created the engine. I cried when Valkyrie Elysium 2 wasn't announced in summer. Is that the cry of happiness or? So my point was that he invited him to his show, and you can see the developers salivating over their own engine and making every excuse in the book trying to calculate how, because Zealand was showing him some terrible things that shouldn't be happening. You know, that doesn't make any sense that it's happening. It's not football. It's just, it's an obvious glitch. Now, there are glitches everywhere in every game. It's fine. It's not a problem. But if you say it's a glitch, then it's a glitch. But no, they try to make excuses about the engine, how they calculate this thing. So that's how, and the guy was salivating over his own engine. That's why I wouldn't trust developers. Because it's their own creation. You are emotionally attached to your own creation. Right? And they will be, same like if someone said, that's a good, for example, imagine if I come to you, we've never met each other in real life, and you meet my girl, and then you say to me that my girl sucks. Maybe she does. But I'm very connected and attached to that person, and now saying that to me that my girl sucks, I need to be very rational about it, to not react emotionally. That's how developers think of their engine. That's how I think of that. Or if someone insults your kid, you're gonna react a little bit emotionally, right? Before you start thinking rationally. Maybe he was being a bit of a dick back there, you know? Maybe people complaining about him are in the right. But isn't the case-by-case thing, and From Software he built up a big credit of trust? Yes, of course. But From Software still does great games, mate. They just don't do masterpieces. Can we agree on this? Is the only masterpiece game that From Software done Bloodborne? Truly the masterpiece that has very little weakness, very few weaknesses. I didn't play it in a long time. I don't recall what the weaknesses, if there were any, are. Can we acknowledge that as their best game? The game that was so solid in almost every department. But that if you have some kind of a credit of trust, that doesn't mean anything to me unless I play their game and see what it is. You can have as many trust as you want, and have as many, but you're still not gonna convince me that your game is good or great, or that systems are good and great before I actually play the goddamn thing myself and see what it's like. No one is going to ever convince me that. You can forget about it. You can say how good of a game is something. If I don't play it, all right. Some of you have credit of trust with me, and I will believe it. But until I've played it, I won't have that opinion of the game, because I can't. Based on what? Based on other person's opinion? Developer to me is just another person. That's it. I can trust them, but until I actually play and see what they've done, it's just that. It's just trust. You know, in the end, developers need to sell their games too, right? So it's a thing of interest. They have, look at this. I love this when the blood is on on the bush and on my cloak. I love that in Elden Ring. I don't think Sekiro is as good as Bloodborne. I think it's missing a little bit of that story and lore effect of the Bloodborne. But as I said, I haven't played those in a long time, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe my memory isn't serving me well, which is a very valid point for anyone ever wanting to point it out. If I say something based off of memory, you can always fuck around with me not having good memory, which that is true. That really is true. I'm very careful when I say things in my videos, when I try to remember things and compare it with something previously done. You know, it's very difficult for me because I don't know why my memory is so bad. I don't know. It just is. So I'm guessing I can jump over to the other side, but is there a reward? That's the only thing that matters, right? Oh, Evgeny, that is absolutely right. That is a normal occurrence. But I get that myself in playing games. Because I've been playing games for so long that now I know what's going to happen. You know, I know what's going to play out. I know what to expect in games once I start playing them and get with the grips with the system. With the grips with the system. I don't know if that's any sort of a correct phrase, but I've tried. Sorry, you know that English isn't my first language. It happens. But you are right. Yeah, you are right. Oh, is that a hippo? Oh, shit. That hippo is an aggressive bastard. But let's try. Why not? And we can also summon. Okay, we could utilize that. Now, we could also run past, but as I said, I don't like skipping enemies. Unless I have already cleared the full location once. I love to play From Software games, going from point to point, clearing everything that I can. Yeah, this thing could eat me alive, so let's summon this bad boy. Just in case I want progression, first and foremost at this point. Oh crap, I did not think he would reach me there. Honestly, I think that Hippo was the least Elden Ring boss type design so far that I've played. But I played only against 4 bosses. But it at least gives you some openings. But even Hippo could be a little bit sorted out with his distance covering. Shit, I got stuck in an animation. Oh, piss off. No, 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 no. There we go. Oh, hippos are the most dangerous in real life. That will make a fine stuffed animal. I think I had... Mate, you just gave me a nostalgia trip, because I think I remember I had a cute stuffed animal as a young bastard. It was a hippo, actually. Yeah, it was. Damn, man. I forgot about that. Huh. What an interesting time to get a nostalgia trip. Damn. No, I don't have it anymore, mate. It was beaten up to shit. Like the golden hippo in Elden Ring. Haha. That was pathetic, I know. Don't remember this. Da sam već kuha. No. No, I didn't get up to find the hippo, I don't have it anymore. Drum jam, when I learned to play drums, mate. I don't know how to play drums, I'm just fucking around with double bass. I'm not good, I don't know how to do it. I have bad bass pedals, but the one thing I got the drums is because I want to learn how to play fast. I just love that. I'm a huge metalhead, and when I hear that going on in the song, it gets my pickle hard. But yeah, I wish I could show you something, but there isn't much. He just sets them up to piss off the neighbors. Thankfully, I live in a house. So I don't care. Now we know what to get you for a 40th birthday. Hippo plush toy, eh? Now that would be actually, if someone did that, that would be an impressive thing. What the fuck is that in the middle of nowhere? Okay. That's all well and good, but how do I get across? Oh, El Estepario is the sickest dude ever, mate. I've just started to listen to his new band. His new band is amazing. It's one of the first bands in a long time that I could listen without the growling and screaming. Usually I just listen to growling and screaming, so... But a clean sounds fantastic, the cost. And the girl, El Estepario is just... He's on another level, mate. What can you say? He's on another level. That guy is not normal. I understand he says hard work, hard work. It is hard work. But there's some talent to it. It just can't be hard work. Yeah, they're quite a little bit of a unique sound, rock/metal combination that works so damn well. And the guy has an amazing voice. Yeah, people, I'm trying to find how to get down there. If I jump down there, I'm gonna die. That I know. Unless there's some kind of a wind downfall. I'm open to... Oh, look at this. Look at the vista here. You know how much this fills me with happiness. I can't explain that in normal words, to be honest, because I love what From Software has always done with their vistas and the things in the background that you know you're gonna visit eventually. It just looks so goddamn epic. Yeah, people, if you know how to get down there, please, I'm open for that info, because I don't see any sort of way to get down there at the moment, unless I missed something obvious. No bosses still today that I have found. That's a shame. It must be this section over here. There must be something with it. Okay. Maybe not. Ah. Okay. But I mean, there needs to be some sort of a way to get down. Get down. Yeah, I did fuck all with this method. Alright. Just don't kill yourself. Don't kill yourself. That's one agile goat. It's the mountain climbing. The Ibsen. No, Ibex. Is it Ibex? Is that the name? Okay. Let's try to get down. Ah, shit, I'm gonna die. Maybe jump in the water. Hey, Kiras. Okay, I'm serious. Does anyone know how to get down there? I feel like I'm at the dead end somewhere. Can we swim in Elden Ring? No, we can't. What am I on about? We can't swim. Oh, snow leopard. It's a beautiful animal, mate. I love snow leopards. Leopards, that is. But tiger is still my favorite. I'm a huge fan of tigers. Flight Pinion. Raziel. Damn, mate. It's a game I need to repeat soon. Soul River. I haven't done any more of the retro games, but I will. I have a couple on my mind. Yeah, I don't know, people. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here. If anyone knows, feel free to spoil it, because I got no clue. Oh yeah, why don't they do the transmogrification already? I don't get it. They really need to add that to Elden Ring. I mean, I know there's a mod, but why do we need mods for that? Just add it into the game, because people that play on PlayStation and Xbox don't have that privilege to use mods. Yeah, people, I don't know what to do here. What's the point? How do I progress here? I got no fucking clue. So, if I don't know what to do here, it's simple. Let's go back to... Yeah. Exactly what I wanted to do, mate. Exactly what I wanted to do. Let's go. Yes, transmog should be in every game with armor. I agree. But a limited transmog. Meaning that we can't really transmog. One second.
No, wait. I can wield my sword to cull. I should have thought. Right, those are those. The Haunson, on one hand, with the enchantment lifted, his vengeful passions on the other hand. Perhaps your concerns are well founded. Allow me some time.
I already did that. So the limited transmogrification, that means that you shouldn't be able to transmog if you're a knight into a ninja. You know, it does make much sense. It kills the immersion and all that. Suddenly that you're a tanky ninja with a cloth. It's not good. But the limited transmogrification, meaning dagger into dagger, longsword into longsword, short sword into short sword, light armor into light armor, medium into medium, and so on. You get the drift. Oh crap, what's this? I'm gonna skip unnecessary encounters for now because I don't have much more time and I wanna get that martial arts thing. Okay. Because Croatia, Italy is about to start. Yeah, they are. It's a fact. Don't get me wrong, it's a good or great DLC even. I don't know yet because I don't have a fully formed opinion. But some things are obvious now even, so let's not pretend. Oh, is that the guy? Okay, Mr. Martial Arts, let's do this thing. And let's use the fragments too. Oh, that's just the cross, that's not... Oh boy. Aha, that's the grace. Should I just attack him or what? Gesture. Huh, I don't even... Huh, there they are. Which one? Oh, Total Biscuit is one of the people that inspired me. He had a great way of analyzing things. Love the guy. Made the best win. Is that the gesture that I need? What do you want by my sword? Kung Fu Cup in the fist one. Let me check out. Hollow Zote maybe. Okay. Now question is, how do I use gestures? I honestly don't know. Is it the touchpad? I don't use gestures ever, so... I'm not joking, I really... Oh, piss off. Fuck! It was a... Oh, man, it was a mistake. Oh, there he is, okay. Yeah, I did set it, but... Confirm. Is that it? No? Okay. You said fourth column from the 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, made the best win. Okay. There we go. Thank you. Appreciate the info, lads. There we go. What now? Dry leaf Dane. Well, come on, Dane. Let's see what you got. Ooh, cool moveset. I like that. Oh, fucking Neo over here. Ah, fuck, stuck. No. Okay, seems like these claws work very well against him. But now we get the weapon. Let's upgrade it, play with it a little bit before I conclude the stream, because I'm quite interested. I think he is using the same gesture, but maybe that's the... So maybe that's the clue what we should be using, right? Something like that. Or maybe you recognize the hat and then you think, well, it's something Eastern, so... Dryleaf Arts and Dane's hat. Let's see what Dane's hat is. So it doesn't provide anything significant. Oh, sorry about that. Okay. And now we use finally the arts. The arts. Oh, can't wait for that. Where is it? Where is it? Whips. I liked whips. Dryleaf Arts. There we go. And now we can dual wield it, I'm guessing, right? Yep. Let's see the moveset. Oh, nice. Okay. Very long combo. Oh, cool. This is fast. Alright, this might work. Yeah, I don't know what that does. Oh, piss off. Who are you? Oh, we are definitely playing this from here on out. Gotta go upgrade it, I know, I know. Oh, for fuck's sake, how many of you are there? Can you leave me alone? I want to go upgrade the weapon. The other Ash of War comes with the second martial arts weapon is much better. Also try jump heavy. It's a nice attack. Yeah, it is. Ooh, nicely done from software. I like that. Let's upgrade it a bit so that we can see what the hell is going to... What kind of a damage is it going to do? I'm gonna make it dexterity based, of course. They don't have any sort of special property for what I can see, right? They don't do anything. Palm blast. Kill of the spiritual seekers knows that Dry imbues hand with energy before using a palm strike to unleash an explosive blast. The already formidable power and impact can be bolstered by charging the attack. Yeah, that's not an effective attack. It takes a long time to charge. Maybe switch it for something else. Hmm? You know what? Why not? No, wait, which one is the buff? Skill passed down from Antigua raises armor at low to pledge on territory, granting self increased attack power and defense. Yeah, we could go with this. Keen. Let's try like that. Strength and armament. True, that makes sense, but at the moment I just want to get acquainted with the moveset. And then we can play with other stuff. Because damage doesn't seem to be high on its own. But then again, it's the same as claws, what am I on about? Alright, and we got 10 more minutes, 15 more minutes, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 10 more minutes. So let's go and do something. I still don't know how to get down from that location, so I'm not gonna try anything there. So we're gonna make our way, well, go where we just came from. Inventory. Oh, you're the halberd guy, Casper, eh? 20,000 runes. You're constantly saying in the comment section, I want halberds, pole arms, I want those weapons. Thankfully, From Software delivers in that department all sorts of weapons. I can understand you. I can understand that fascination. Okay, level up. Mind, endurance. I'm gonna need more endurance. And let's move back to this location. Kicks a couple of bastards and then hope that Croatia is gonna beat the shit out of Italy. Sniper, oh well, snipers are ever present. They're more frequent than something like pole arms from my experience, but I haven't played really gun-based game in a long time. Now, those bastards have a horse. I don't want to use the horse with the hand strikes. That's just stupid. I wouldn't have a reach advantage, or I wouldn't have a reach period. But let's see, what do we have here? Couple of soldiers to try these things on. Oh, I can't see, for fuck's sake. This stupid backstab animation. Mesmer soldier spear. Alright, 3 down. Oh, I'm gonna like battling with these. Maybe they won't be as effective as I would like them to be, but so far, why the hell not? Be a little bit more attack power. Can we combine strong and quick attacks? No, we can't. See, with hook claws you can you can better combine strong and quick attacks from what I've seen. You can jump, do the jump attack, then go into 2 heavy attacks, then continue just with Either echelon or a quick attack. They seem to be more easily combined, but this thing has longer combos, so win here, loss there for both. What is Milady, mate? I'm not familiar with names of the weapons that much. Ah, light greatsword. Oh yeah, I got that. I got that one. It is, mate. It seems to be a good attack, but I need to test it a little bit further. For example, hook claws have an amazing jumping attack. Jumping strong attack, which I overused a little bit. But it does help. And thing is, with hook claws and this, I can just run the same build. I don't need to change anything. Now this one is kinda, can someone explain this to me? It's basically I don't change stances, so the more I have this dual wield stance, then the more damage I'm gonna do. Time based or something. Can someone explain Relana's cameo? I don't know the exact pronunciation. Did I figure that? No. How does that work? I thought that was the first time around. Okay, so basically it's useless for me. Instead, greatly increases poise damage. Let's see if we get something like that. Is there something that increases poise damage? That will work really well with this. Raises a bit lower equipment load, raises fire, lightning, reduces damage impact, blah blah blah. Raises it when HP, defense, attack power when HP is at maximum, critical hits restore successive attacks, restore HP, boost dexterity, raises attack power with successive attacks. Yeah, alright, that could work. Not really, don't have the time to read every single talisman now, let's just go. I fucked up that one. I didn't know if it was worth it or not because I was testing that Relana's cameo and actually made some sense when I was fighting enemies. The damage got slightly increased with time, but maybe it was just a different type of an enemy or something. I did that, Evgeny. Or did I? No, I didn't. But it's definitely a thing I would consider. I just don't know the rate at which that is done. But definitely something to... Definitely something to take into account. I'll piss off. You can really... Damn it. First attack could be a little bit faster, I gotta say. Oh no, not you, not you. I did not want to drag you into this. Well, alright, time to die for the last part of the stream, I guess. Will they damage each other? Go kill each other. That would make my life a lot easier. Oh, come on. Crab, kill them. Thank you, crab. Oh, what the fuck is that? Now you're pissing me off. I can't. These large enemies really have some camera issues. It's really difficult for me to tell what the hell is going on and where the hit is going to actually land. Alright peeps, I'm gonna have to leave you for today. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for the great chat as always. I'm going to watch Croatia, Italy and hoping that we win. Wish us luck. I'm not two-handing. Holy crap, I'm not two-handing. I thought I did. Oh, you I thought I did that first. Thanks, man. Appreciate you all as always. Thank you all. See you tomorrow.